"I never realised that to be a jockey you had to be a horse first." The words of Arrigo Sacchi when he was appointed as Milan coach in 1987. At the time, he was a relative unknown in the world of football. Born in 1946 in Fusignano, a community of 7,000 people in the province of Ravenna, Sacchi never really made it as a footballer. The sport had been an obsession from an early age, but at first it did not translate onto the pitch. A defender, Sacchi worked hard, but could not progress from amateur level, spending most of his playing career with local club Fusignano. On the other side, he worked as a shoe salesman at his father's factory. Sacchi did not live the glamorous life of a professional footballer. At the age of 26, while attempting to prove himself at another local club, Baracca Lugo, he decided to turn his hand to coaching. To those who knew him, it wasn't entirely surprising. Sacchi had been a student of the game from a young age. As a boy, he regularly watched the great Real Madrid team of the 1950s and quickly became enamoured. The Netherlands of the 1970s, though, proved Sacchi's greatest influence. "It was a mystery to me," Sacchi said of the Rinus Michels team. "The television was too small. I felt like I needed to see the whole pitch to fully understand what they were doing and to fully appreciate it." Sacchi clearly had a natural inclination towards the attacking side of the game. In that sense, he was something of a nonconformist in the Italian game. The style of play in Italy when Sacchi began his coaching career was still very much based on the defensive, risk-averse football of Nereo Rocco and Helenio Herrera. At Baracca Lugo, it quickly became apparent that Sacchi was a precocious coaching talent. From there, he moved on to Bellaria, before joining Serie B club Cesena in 1979 as a youth coach. It was a job that required his complete dedication. Sacchi had been working for his father's company as a director, earning an increasingly lucrative monthly salary. When Cesena came calling, he had to decide between shoes and football, and he chose the latter. It was the beginning of a rapid rise to the top of the Italian game. Sacchi was appointed by Rimini in Serie C1 and came close to winning the title. That was enough to earn him a move to Fiorentina in the top flight as a youth coach before he was handed the reins at Parma. Parma, playing with a ferocious intensity, impressed Milan owner Silvio Berlusconi, and this was something different. And so, in 1987, he appointed Sacchi, ignoring the scepticism of those who were unconvinced by his track record. Before Sacchi's arrival, Milan had won just one Serie A title in 20 years. A talented group of players had underperformed, and so Sacchi set about motivating them. By the time Sacchi left the club, they'd won a lot. An evasive Serie A title was secured in his first season, and that was followed by 2 European Cups. By the time he left, Italian football had changed. Sacchi always preached the importance of entertainment above all else. "If you want to go down in history, you don't just need to win," he said. "You have to entertain," and Milan did. The trio of Dutchmen, Frank Rijkaard, Ruud Gullit and Marco van Basten, were fluid and often irresistible. And the defence, anchored by Franco Baresi, was a key foundation of Sacchi's side. Milan under Sacchi were both innovative and successful. It was vindication for a coach who had been dismissed by some on the basis of reputation. In his later roles, though, despite his undoubted tactical intelligence, Sacchi struggled to effectively put across his ideas. He left Milan in '91 to take charge of the Italian national team, but he appeared frustrated by the limitations of the international game. Sacchi did guide Italy to the final of the '94 World Cup, but they were beaten on penalties by Brazil. The Azzurri never truly convinced, and Sacchi was sacked after elimination in the group stages of Euro '96. He briefly returned to Milan, but couldn't replicate his previous successes. Then came an unsuccessful spell in Spain with Atletico Madrid, and in 2001, another season at Parma. A stress-related illness soon forced him to take on a position as a director, and his coaching career was over. But Sacchi should not be remembered by the latter stages of his career. Few coaches have made such a significant impact as he did with Milan over such a short period of time. The high defensive line and the pressing game so omnipresent today, and utilised by a number of the most talented coaches, would not have taken the form they did without the influence of Arrigo Sacchi.